Do you remember the days when people used to want Yeezy to bring more colorful sneakers into their model range? Everybody seemed pretty tired of the various shades of earth tones and tan. Well, 2021 has been a very colorful year for Yeezy brand, specifically on the Yeezy 700 V1 model. In fact, every Yeezy 700 this year has been pretty colorful, and that includes today's pair of sneakers. So let's break them open, let's take a look at today's pair of sneakers, and of course that is the Yeezy 700 V1 Wash Orange. Here we go, we have the Yeezy 700 box. You guys know the deal, the cardboard, the 700 text, the boost on the side. Let's pull these open and let me show you guys today's pair of sneakers, which might surprise you like it did me a little bit, but we'll get into that in just a second. Take a look at the Yeezy 700 V1 Wash Orange. Okay, here you go. Take a look at the latest Yeezy 700, and honestly, I got a lot to say about these. This year has been a pretty interesting one for the Yeezy 700 V1 model. Remember back in 2020 when Kanye posted that image of all of these different colorful pairs of Yeezy 700 V1s? Well, back then we really didn't know too much of what to make of that image. Was it something that we were going to get these sneakers as an actual release, or are they just random samples? Well, as we moved into 2021, we started seeing actual releases of these sneakers that were in that image, and in fact now today with the release of these, 50% of those sneakers that you see in that picture have been released. And we've now arrived at the back end of 2021, and this is actually the fourth colorway to feature this orange midsole. So I guess it begs the question, do we really need this one? But of course, before we get into all of that, let me give you some release specifics on this pair of sneakers. These actually drop tomorrow on October the 16th. They retail for the new lower £220 here in the UK, or $240 if you're out in the US. Do you guys remember that the retail price used to be $210 on these, and then randomly it just went up by £10? I don't know what's going on with that, but the past two Yeezy 700 releases have now been for $220, so it's like they dropped it and then pushed it back up a little bit. I don't know what's going on there. So I've got a couple other colorways of the Yeezy 700 V1 which have released this year, but before we get into that, let's take a look at this pair. One thing that I will say that surprised me a little bit when opening up the box and seeing this pair of sneakers was the fact that the upper is not what I expected. I expected this upper to be identical to the OG Wave Runner. However, when you take a look at these sneakers side by side, you can really tell that this Wash Orange colorway is slightly darker. Even though it's not a massive difference, I am happy that it separates itself a little bit more from the original Wave Runner, as we did just get a restock of this pair this year. So yes, the upper is very, very similar to that Wave Runner. Well, how about this midsole? Well, like I said, this is the fourth Yeezy 700 V1 this year to release with a solid orange midsole. Here I have the Inflame Amber colorway, which is a very nice one. I also have the Bright Blue, the same solid orange midsole. And then of course at the beginning of the year, we had the Yeezy 700 V1 Sun. So I guess that's my biggest question with this pair of Yeezy 700s. Does it separate itself enough from the original Wave Runner and its upper? And also, does it separate itself enough from the other orange midsole Yeezy 700s? But in terms of the general market, are people going to be choosing this colorway when, again, we've had a restock of the Wave Runners, we've had three other pretty solid colorways of orange midsoled 700s as well? So does this one do enough to really make it a sneaker that you gotta have? I don't know. I do have to say though, if we completely remove all of those other past 700 V1s from our minds, this is a very nice colorway. Again, if you're a fan of the Wave Runner, this upper is not too different to really dislike, and the fact that it has a really nice orange midsole, I think adds a little bit of color pop to it and makes it a really solid colorway. Now, of course, the model itself is, like I said, one of my favorites. It's got a lot of really nice premium materials on the top. Suede on the toe box, you've got really nice padded mesh that moves throughout the upper, you've got some soft leather around the eye stays, and then some more suede towards the back. You'll notice the color blocking on the forefoot of the sneaker is exactly the same as the Wave Runner, so they haven't changed the tones of that. You still get the really nice teal blue and green color that you find. The blacks are all the same. It is really just the gray portion, which is slightly darker on this wash orange as to the original Wave Runner. The midsole obviously comes in a pretty much solid orange color. Of course, you do have some black accents kind of swirled around. A very good looking midsole that adds a lot of detail to the pair of sneakers. Now, of course, the outsole is exactly the same as any other Yeezy 700 V1, the exact same traction pattern, and of course it has the exposed boost. Now, in terms of sizing on these, I personally go true to size, so that's what I'm going to recommend to you. I know Yeezys oftentimes feel very snug, specifically the 350s and the 450s and other models. However, I've always gone true to size with these, and it's always fit me perfectly. All in all, I think that this colorway is very solid. Do you need to have every single orange midsoled one that released this year? No, I feel like you can safely just take your pick of one of them and go with that one. However, the more we've had, the cheaper they've become, and that's a good thing. But that pretty much wraps it up for the Yeezy 700 V1 Wash Orange. How do you think this one stands up to the rest of the 700 V1 lineup? What do you think of this colorway? Let me know down in the comment section. But of course, thank you so much for coming through, hanging out for yet again another video. Thank you for liking, commenting, and of course subscribing. I'll catch you guys in the next one, but until then.